Carroll, bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
I don't know what it is that makes me love you so. I only know I never want to let you go. 'Cause you started something, you see, that ever since we met you had a hold on me. It happens to be true. I only want to be with you.
Good evening and welcome to this week's Ringing the Blues live at Wycombe Sound with me, Phil Catchpole.
And me, Luke Leahy.
On this week's show, we've got all the action and reaction from the trip to Charlton. We have a new feature for you called Till Death Us Do Part. On this week, we speak to Oily Sailor on that one.
But first, let's head to Mexico City for the full League One results.
We are ringing the blues from Mexico City. It's me, Uri, and here are the results for League One. Blackpool 4, Reading 1, Bolton Wanderers 1, Peterborough United 1, Bristol Rovers 4, Wigan Athletic 1, Burton Albion 1, Fleetwood Town 1, Cambridge United 1, Port Vale 1, Carlisle United 0, Derby County 2, Charlton Athletic 3, Wycombe Wanderers 1, Cheltenham Town 0, Stevenage 3, Leyton Orient 1, Shrewsbury Town 0, Northampton Town 1, Barnsley 2, Oxford United 3, Exeter City 0, Portsmouth 2, Lincoln City 1. So Freddie Potts hit a fantastic volley to score his first ever senior goal. A great moment for any player. So Chairboy Spanish this week, first senior goal. Wow, this is a difficult one because in Spanish we don't make a precise distinction between juniors and seniors. So let me explain. When a young player makes it into the big team, we say they make it into the big team. Big, grande. Team, equipo. Jugó con el equipo grande. Primer gol con el equipo grande. First goal with the big team. Or he made it into the first team or the principal team. So, first goal with the principal team. Primer gol con el equipo principal. Well, there's many ways to say it, but I will translate it literally. First, primero. First, primero. Senior, señor. No, it's not señor, it's more like adult. Or, well, lost in translation. Goal. So first senior goal, primer gol, como señor. Well, difficult to translate this time, sorry my friends. I'm going back to England with my amigo Phil Cachapollos. Until the next week.
Thank you very much, Uri. Right then, Wycombe Wanderers headed to South London on Saturday. Some of you guys got stuck in the Blackwall Tunnel. Here's what happened. Josh puts a lovely ball down the channel, finds Wheeler. Wheeler cuts it back early, looking for Hanlon. Oh, taken off his toe brilliantly by Hector. Wycombe Wanderers, what a move that was. And Hanlon was just sizing up there, tapping at the back post until the long leg of Hector poked it behind for Wycombe's first corner. Here he is now on the ball, Campbell. Up against Boys. Gets through Boys. Cuts it back now to Leeburn. Leeburn finds room for the shot and scores. Too easy to get Leeburn into the game there inside the penalty area. Leeburn bought himself a yard. And one of those long legs wrapped round the ball, drills it into the bottom corner. It's Charlton 1, Wycombe 0. The ball into the box. Vokes gets up, hits the bar. And lets off the Charlton in first half stoppage time. McCleary with the corner. Whips it in high to the back post. Hanlon gets up, drops to Potts on the volley. Yes! Freddie Potts on the volley. I told you his goal was coming soon, and it's arrived this afternoon. Bang on cue in front of the Wycombe fans in the Jimmy Seed stand. How about that for your first goal for Wycombe Wanderers? Charlton 1, Wycombe 1. Boyce gets it back for Wycombe, and here's McCleary on the left wing, urged on by the Chairboys, massive behind the goal. McCleary goes for a goal himself. Oh, just past the post. Cut inside on his right foot. And it's cleared. McCleary has it, and McCleary's got through Hector. McCleary's inside the Charlton half. Can he go through Dobson? He can. Hanlon's in space, still McCleary, finds Hanlon. Hanlon first time, does he? Cuts onto his left. It's beaten away and put behind for a corner. Brilliant stuff from Gareth McCleary. Hanlon brought it onto his left, and Terrell Thomas has done some excellent defending there and deflected the shot behind for a corner. Gilt-edged opportunity for Wycombe. Phillips closing down. And now Blackett-Taylor puts the ball out wide, finds Alfie May on the right-hand channel. Alfie May, corner of the penalty area. Waits for the run, overlap of Watson. Watson back to Tedic, and it's there! It's a miss hit by the striker, and it loops up into the side netting, and it goes in, and it's Charlton 2, Wycombe 1. The subs having a real impact hit. Blackett-Taylor gets past Farino, he's inside the box. Wheeler gets a tackle in, but he's still going and scores! And that's the 3 points for Charlton. Corey Blackett-Taylor, who's been quiet this second half after being electric in the first, has reignited off the left-hand side, danced his way into the box and planted a right-footed shot past the helpless Max Driek. Charlton 3, Wycombe 1. Goes up to Farino. Scowen has the ball. And now the full-time whistle goes. It's defeat for Wycombe Wanderers, their first in 5 league games. In what has been an up-and-down game here, they trailed 1-0 in the first half. They equalised in the second half with a fabulous strike from Freddie Potts. They then went on to boss large parts of that second half before a triple sub from Michael Appleton was rewarded immediately with a goal from Slobodan Tedic, and then another goal late on from Corey Blackett-Taylor, who has been impressive during this game, to make it 3-1. But plenty of positives for Wycombe Wanderers to take from this game. Duncan.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the thing. We're early in the season. You know, Charlton are probably in a false position in the league. They're a very good team who might be right up there at the end of the year. If you think back to maybe the Northampton game, Wycombe didn't play well that day, but came away with 3 points. You know, today I think the second half display was some of the most sustained, decent attacking play they've put together under Matt Bloomfield. So it augurs well. It's just one of those days. You know, Charlton, they do have a great squad. They showed it by making their substitutions, which ultimately made a bit of difference. But I think a lot, many positives to take out today.
Gaffer, the winning run comes to an end, but an eventful game. What was your take on it?
Yeah, I think that my first emotion post-event is of pride at our players. The way we conducted ourselves, the way we took the game to Charlton second half. Maybe slightly below par first half, and we spoke about that at half-time, but the real courage and the energy and the enthusiasm that we played with second half and the quality we showed, my initial emotion after the game is that of pride and frustration, because I believe and I know that we deserved more out of the game than what we got.
Freddie Potts gets off the mark, and a great way in doing so as well, in front of our fans.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because Fred's got top quality. He strikes the ball with real, really clean and crisp strike of the football. Obviously, the volley was, showed real quality. I think he can get more from midfield, because his striking from outside the box, as I've said, is real top. So we're really pleased for him. He's been great for us. When we brought him in on loan, he just showed from the first meeting when we went to meet him of a mature boy who knows where he wants to go in his life and in his football career, and we're really happy to have him with us.
It really drove the team on as well, who started the second half well, but they went up another gear after that goal, and it looked at one stage there was only going to be one winner.
Yeah, it really did. It's really frustrating for the boys. I feel for them and our supporters, who were an incredible voice behind the goal. Second half we attacked the goal where they were behind, and I thought they were amazing the way they backed the boys, and they were in fine voice. The lads played with a real tempo and energy about them, that what we've been asking to do. Like I say, first half we just weren't quite where we wanted to be, but second half they really took the game, and they were fantastic, and I really feel for the boys. I really feel for the supporters who come to support us in their numbers today, because they all deserved to take something home from the game, but unfortunately sometimes this game kicks you in the teeth, and unfortunately today was one of those days.
Just before Charlton's second goal, there was an offside decision that you and the bench looked very upset with, along with a lot of the players.
Yeah, don't want to make. I've been told not to make any headlines, so I'll try and keep this as politically correct as I can. But unfortunately, an offside was given against a player who first and foremost wasn't offside, and secondly wasn't impeding in the play. We're going to attack Charlton's goal. The game's been brought back, nearly an identical, situation in the first half. Wasn't given in the same way. We could have had 3 penalties. It is what it is. It's the game, right? Sometimes these things go for you, sometimes they don't. I don't want to go on about those too much because it might take away from the pride that I have in our performance. We have to be performance-led. We have to be process-led. That's what we are. Unfortunately, we didn't get any points today. We want to win games. But if we play with that energy, tempo, quality, courage moving forward, then hopefully there'll be some more points to come.
Plenty of positive to take then from that second half performance.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like GMAC's shown some real quality at the moment and springing his step. Front two, Vokesy and Brands. I shouldn't. It's wrong of me to start picking names out actually, because it's about a group effort and a squad effort and a club effort and a coaching staff. I believe wholeheartedly in the unit and the bin as one. And that's what we will continue to do moving forward, because it's a group effort, right? So Wycombe Wanderers has always been at our best when it's been a whole group effort and you feel the power of the group, and that's what it has to be moving forward. But of course there's some things that are going to go against you in football. I've been in it long enough to understand that. Some you can control, unfortunately. There's some you can't. So you have to deal with what you can deal with. We have to, take our medicine, look ourselves in the mirror, check we did everything we could do possibly to get a result. We'll analyse it and we move forward.
And finally, a word for the fans. Great noise from you wearing this afternoon. There was at least one coach stuck in the Blackwall tunnel that missed, I think, most of the game. They might have got in for the Freddie Potts goal. I hope they did, but a big effort today. Yeah,
I thought that, I said it after the game against Blackpool last week, they were in fine voice. Really feels like they believe in this team. They believe in these boys. The boys are giving them everything, and subsequently they're giving everything for the group. And the fans today, they're always travelling in our numbers really well down here. We've had some good days here over the years, and I unfortunately today wasn't one of them. But I hope that they saw that performance with the same pride as what I did. I thank them for their support, their continued support for this group and for this football club, because we're only as special as the supporters here. And we mean that because, those guys are incredible. The staff down the ground, the staff at the training ground. This group, this football club is special about the people, and those fans play a huge part. So thank you for them, and we dust ourselves down and get ready for next week. Freddie, the good run comes to an end in terms of results, but a decent performance on the whole today.
Yeah, I thought that the second half was a lot better as a team. I feel like we played and our performance was much better in the second half. We were more progressive, and obviously it came with more chances that we were creating. We looked more of a threat than Charlton did in the second half, but I think we were just unfortunate with the goals that we gave away, a few decisions that didn't go our way, and we're still positive and we're still confident going into the games that are coming up.
1-0 down at half time. What was said at half time? Because like you said, it was a much different Wycombe that came out of the tunnel.
Yeah, the gaffer and the whole squad, really, we weren't really happy and satisfied with how we played. We knew that we were a bit agitated in the change rooms, but like you say, the second half we just came out a different team, and we were more confident on the ball. We started to play a lot more, and we started to use their weaknesses to our strengths. So the more chances came, and we felt like we could have gone 2-1 up at some part in the game, but it was just unfortunate that it didn't go that way.
You have to give credit to the opposition, because the triple sub kind of changed the game. 2 of their players involved in that second goal for them as well, but it seemed to change momentum for about 2 or 3 minutes too.
That's the whole part of the second half. There was a lot of momentum changes, especially when their second goal went in. It sort of just, I feel like it hit us backwards in a way, but we still tried to bounce back. We still were creating chances, and like you say, their subs that came on were a problem. They were a different type of threat. But I feel in the whole that we still handled it pretty well. We were still on top, but obviously the scoreline just doesn't show that.
Let's talk about your goal. First in senior football, and pretty special one.
Yeah, I know. I was just lucky that it sort of just fell to me in the way that it did. I was on the edge of the box, and the way it fell, it was my instinct just to hit it, and luckily it went into the top corner. So I'm happy with it. Yeah. From
the commentary box, a player coming out towards you looked like he might get in the way, but I'm pretty sure he's glad he wasn't in the way of that, because he didn't have to get hold of it.
Yeah, I know. It was. I was lucky that I hit it as well as I did. It's just lucky that it fell on my foot the way it did, and yeah, I'm just happy it was my first goal, so I'm buzzing.
Describe the feeling as it hit the back of the net in front of the Wycombe fans, as you say, first senior goal. You're going to remember that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I remember it for a while. I mean, my mates were in the away stand, just in front of the away fans was just the best way to have my first goal, so I'm buzzing.
First of many?
I mean, I hope so. Hopefully this year I can get a few more, and if it's the way that it happened today, then I'll be pretty happy with that, yeah.
It's been a few weeks since we spoke, but that playing with Josh Scowen week in, week out, it seems to be really bringing your ability out in League One now.
Yeah, Scoey's he's a top player, especially in this league. I feel like he's one of the best. He's such a good player on the ball, off the ball. As a person, he's good to talk to. He's easy to talk to, and he's helping me in my position. He's probably making me look better. If he wasn't there, probably would be a different story. But yeah, I'm just happy and lucky that I've got someone like Scoey and the player of his ability to lead us through the games. Yeah, it's good.
The thoughts there of the gaffer, Matt Bloomfield, and midfielder Freddie Potts. But we've got Luke with us tonight. Someone the other day online, I saw on some Twitter space, called you Leahy, and it annoyed me.
Yeah, it's Leahy.
Yes, I love that button. Right, we just heard what Freddie and the gaffer said there as well. A game of two halves, to use a phrase, but Wycombe probably shaded it second half, or definitely did.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was the feeling coming off the pitch Saturday, and it was the same feeling when we watched it back on Monday. We had the better chances, we created the better opportunities, but unfortunately the main thing at the end of the day is the result, and we didn't get it. But a load of positives to go on and build on. What does a defeat do for you? Like, does it ruin the weekend? Do you have to get it out of your system? How did you process it? Well, I know we got beat, but coming off, like I said, the performance was very good, and so I wasn't too downhearted about it. Obviously, we don't like losing, but there was a lot of positives there, and a load to build on ahead of the game Saturday. I think the international break was massive for us. We got on the training pitch and worked a lot on how we can be better, and I think it showed since then. Freddie Potts, lovely to hear him talking about his first senior goal. Do you remember yours? Yeah, I was up in Scotland for Falkirk. It was against Hearts. Yeah, Scottish competitions, the cup competitions start. They use it as a pre-season. So yeah, it was against Hearts at home. Describe that feeling, because Freddie obviously talking after a defeat, but talking about his goal, he was obviously smiling, certainly about the quality of it. But how does it feel when you get that first goal? Is it almost like a validation as a player? Yeah, I think it's a validation to show that you can play professional football and show your teammates that you are good enough to be playing, and more of a relief to get that first one as well. Right then, we'll be talking more about with Luke after the break about some of the new laws in our game this season. Are you confident about that, Luke? Not really, no. We've also got a new feature, Till Death Do Us Part, which also features Luke Leahy as well, by pure coincidence. It's almost like we wrote it that way. But we'll be back after this.
Blucher. A very good first half in which we dominated the opposition and fully deserved our 1-0 lead. Wycombe offered very little until Vokes' header against the bar just before the half-time whistle. The second half was a totally different story. Wycombe came out on the front foot and, following a volleyed equaliser, looked far more likely winners. We completely lost control of midfield, and Wycombe were well on top, with McCleary at the centre of most of their best play. The final scoreline flattered us.
AFKA Bartram.
There was a point in the second half where I absolutely despised Charlton Athletic. It's quite a common occurrence, to be honest. We'll be winning a game, frustrate, concede, frustrate further, and then probably concede again. And I'll then have my mood dragged along the pavement for the next 7 days. But not today. It took a Tedic pile driver to get in front, but by that point I wasn't convinced it was coming. We are such a frustrating team. We look like we have so much potential when attacking, but defensively we're shaky, and our end product is just dire. Oh, and I'm not saying he was good, but that's the first game I've not scratched my head wondering if Isted is an actual goalie or a competition winner. At the end of the day, though, the sun shone, I lost my voice, I celebrated the win and left the valley happy that those bastards won't be miserably ruining my life for at least another 7 days.
East Terrace 61-68.
Golden Delicious served up a great dish today. Tactics, changes when needed, a plan B, and yes, it all came together. All it needed was a coach who actually had some ideas. I'm certainly warming to Apples and the core of what he's trying to serve up. The first half was like watching a different team to 3 weeks ago. OK, the second half was a bit of a squeaky bum time for the first 20 minutes, but thankfully we had someone on the touchline who knew when and where to change things up. Well played, one and all.
Callum, CAFC.
Wycombe went 5 league games unbeaten before today, so that was a good win against the type of side you have to beat if you want to be in the promotion mix come May. So many positive signs from us as well, apart from the obvious 3 points. We lost a bit of steam after half-time until the subs were made, but we weathered the Wycombe storm and came on strong to secure the win. Appleton is already earning his money. Very pleased with what I'm seeing after 2 games.
Valley Faithful.
I really like the impact of our subs, and Appleton certainly deserves credit for the change of shape. Most of the time when we're under the cosh, we just concede, but today's changes completely pumped new blood into the final 20 minutes. Great win.
Stevie Essex.
Well, it turns out get out of jail cards do exist. We were good going forward, but absolutely terrible at the back. I feel this is going to be the story of our season, but 3 points and a win can't be sniffed at.
Mercia Al.
And that was a game of 2 halves. We played some really nice stuff first half and defended well. Wycombe upped their game in the second, and we were under the cosh and defensively looked very shaky. The substitutions made a real difference, and isn't it nice to have a stronger bench now rather than just kids?
Ben.
When was the last time we had a manager that made brave calls with subs? And more importantly, subs that weren't just reactions to going behind. Fair play to the Big Apple. These are the calls he's paid to make. And today, he was right on the money.
Huddy, 1978.
I am so happy with that win. At 1-1, there was only one team in it, and it wasn't us. We were giving the ball away for fun. Fair play to Appleton with the subs. It changed the game. At times, we rode our luck, but then again, so did they. Great to pick up me fish and chips with a bounce in my step for a change.
Paul Sturgis.
Well, I wasn't really convinced by that. I'll take the result, obviously, and there were some good moments. But even when playing well, we didn't really look all that. or particularly threatening. In fact, we looked far more likely to lose at 1-1 until the scuffed goal. Oh, I'm a big fan of Alfie May, though.
Gary Manilow.
A 3-1 win over an informed team who will be looking to finish in the playoff spots. And people are still scrapping over whether we won convincingly enough. Cheer up, lads.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Get the most out of your busy routine with new Skechers hands-free slip-ins. Walking the dog? Just step in and go. Heading to work? Just step in and go. School mornings with the kids? You can all just step in and go with Skechers. No more bending over to put on your shoes. Plus, each pair is designed with Skechers' exclusive heel panel that holds your foot securely in place. These are the Skechers that get you out the door quickly, comfortably and fashionably. Skechers hands-free slip-ins. Innovative footwear suited for every walk of life. Find your perfect pair at Skechers in the Eden Centre, High Wycombe.
Tuesday evenings from 8. Chatsworth. Chat that's worth a listen with comedians.
I'm going to a pasty lecture. It discusses whether it was tin miners who held the crust in their hands and didn't eat it, so the rats would eat it, and then the rats would eat the tin, you know. Or was it the people in the fields and they put the jam on the crust so they had a pudding with their lunch? Who knows what it was? That's the first 10 minutes of the lecture.
I love the idea that people might have just tuned in now and have just said,
what is this?
Colin, can I tell you something?
Please
this
do.
is the high for me. If I'd have known back then that all roads were leading to you, Colin, I would have lost my mind. I wouldn't have been able to focus.
I must congratulate you. You've reached the top.
Thank you.
And Colin.
If you do fancy a laugh on a Tuesday evening, I'll look forward to speaking to you then. Although due to the modern ways of listening, you can catch up anytime via the Listen Again feature on the website, wicomsound.org.uk. When you realise your dream, that's what it feels like.
When your dream realises you, Colin, that's what it is.
Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Welcome back to Ringing the Blues with me, Phil Catchpole. Delighted to be joined in the studio by our co-host this week, Luke. Luke, how are you finding it?
I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I think it's different to what I thought it was going to be. So, but no, yeah, very happy to be here.
Now, we want to talk to you a bit about the new laws that have been introduced. And we'll start off because the obvious one, I think, is the time added on. We'll move on to that in a minute. The other week, last Tuesday, this time last week, Crystal Palace under-21s, the penalty. Before your penalty, the Crystal Palace goalkeeper got booked. What did he get booked for?
I think quite a few things. It was he knocking the bar. He was like pushing the bar above him and moving side to side. I think you're not allowed to do that, and I think he was pretending to drink his water at the side of the post. So I think he got booked for a few things. Yeah,
because I learned quite a bit there because it says it. I looked it up on the FA website. The defending goalkeeper must remain on the goal line facing the kicker between the goalposts until the ball is kicked. The goalkeeper must not behave in a way that unfairly distracts the kicker, e.g. delay the taking of the kick, or touch the goalpost, crossbar or the goal net. That last bit surprised me because I've always seen goalkeepers touch the crossbar. I found out afterwards is because it makes the dimensions of the goal different.
Yeah, it makes it either bigger or smaller the way they're pushing it. So yeah, it worked the first time for him, didn't it? So thankfully it got retaken and I put it away the second time.
I was hoping you got it wrong, and then we could have retaken the question and then you could have got it right the next time.
Very good.
First goal for Wycombe though, big milestone.
Yeah, get that first one out of the way. I've had a few chances, to be fair, in the league. One against Dorian that I should have done better with, but yeah, delighted to get it done. It doesn't matter sort of for me what game it was or what competition it was in. Just to get that first one over the line is nice, and hopefully I get play more.
Now, the other law change that's been across all of the divisions, and lots of pundits and fans talking about it up and down the country, the added on time. Now, of course, at Wycombe, we're used to double digits here at Wycombe, 10 minutes at the end of the game. But it seems to be getting less and less every week. Is that because the players are changing their behaviour on the pitch? Yeah, maybe. I think so. I think going back to like the first few games of the season, it was, I think, 12 and 10 minutes, and it was quite tough and quite hard to get used to.
yeah, I think we're understanding it more, like the time wasting. Chris got booked against Blackpool for time wasting at the throw-in, didn't he? So I think players are more aware of sort of the time wasting, and I don't think you can as much now as well because of the multi-ball around the pitch. So yeah, but I think in some cases it helps us because the boys that we bring on, they're fresh, and some of the quality that we bring on, more time the better sometimes because if we're chasing a goal, then it's needed.
Now let's cast our minds back a couple of weeks at Sixfields. Wycombe are winning that 1-0. I think there was 10 minutes added on at the end of that game. As a fan, I know what it feels like when you see the board up when you're winning by 1 goal. As a player, when you see that, when you look across, what does that feel like? Yeah,
I won't repeat what I thought when I seen it, but yeah, I think you look over it, see if it's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes, take it in, and then just deal with what's coming, sort of thing. I think in that game we dealt with everything they threw at us, and we deserved that clean sheet. But no, I think once you see 10 minutes when you're holding on to a lead, it is, you have to be strong mentally to get through it. Whereas on the other hand, if you're chasing a goal, then it helps you out. Is it something you all practice in training? Because you see it teams when they have a narrow lead and you see them knock the ball about, keep ball, take it to other areas of the pitch. Is that something that you guys just intrinsically know as players to do that? Yeah, I think so. I don't think you don't practice it much, but it's just like keeping the ball, I suppose, in a possession or anything like that. Some cases it's just better kicking the ball away. I remember Bristol Rovers a few weeks ago when I think there was still 3-4 minutes added on, and I got the ball on the halfway line and just booted it out for a throw in, sort of like a rugby kick. And definitely wasn't a shot, no. Yeah, a few people come up to me and was like, was that a shot? I was like, no. But yeah, I think some cases in that instance it helps that way as well. I thought you were trying to help the Green Council by knocking down the start of their new stand. I'm not going to comment on Bristol Rovers. Fair enough. You mentioned the multi-ball system. Now, when you're losing, I guess that's quite handy to see them dotted around the pitch. I've seen Wycombe take some quick throws. I think David Wheeler took one against Blackpool from about 4 yards off the pitch and nearly caught the team out. And that's going to be something that adds into the game, and more teams will get used to that as well, I guess. Yeah, definitely. I think if someone's got a long throw that's sort of playing as a wing-back or like a left or right centre-half, it could be a really good tactic, just picking the ball up and throwing it in. If the strikers are ready and aware and get behind their back line, then really you're in on a one-on-one. So yeah, Dave's quite clever in that sense, picking up on those little things. And I think another thing as well, so Blackpool, the home game, just telling the ball boys to calm down when they're thrown onto the pitch. I think their boys run for the ball, and I was shouting to our ball boys, like, throw it away. So the dark arts of that sort of thing as well can help you out. You seem to have fitted into that at Wycombe incredibly well. Fitted into the dark arts. Yeah, I've done it for a while, to be fair. Just trying to gain an edge on your opponent, or trying to stop a break, an attacking period for the opposition. So yeah, I've sort of done it sort of the last few years. So it's perfect for this football club, I suppose. Are you our long throw specialist now? Because I notice you do take quite a few of them now. I try to be. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a long throw. I think it's quite like a short long throw. But we've got some big boys in there: Chris, Vokesy, Joe Lowe. So as long as they get the first contact and make a nuisance of themselves, and hopefully they can get a flick on to one of our boys to put it in the back of the net. And the art of the long throw, again with the new laws, no towels allowed now. Obviously didn't matter at Bristol Rovers because the pitch was bone dry. Yeah. But when the pitch is wet, were you someone who had to dry the ball to get the purchase on it, or could you just pick it up and throw it? No, it has to be dry for me. Yeah, so I think once the winter days are coming and the rainy days are coming, that long throw will be getting much shorter. Joe Jacobson on commentary, I think we was away at Lincoln, suggested we maybe bring like a towel insert into the shirt, like inside. That's a very good idea. That's something that we could look into, I suppose. It could be like the revolutionary Smart Armour shin pad, but the ball towel, the ball drying shirt. Would it be a bit warm though, perhaps running around with a towel shoved up your jumper? Maybe, but I don't mind trying it out. I think we could get JT the kitman to sew a towel into the new kit and see how it goes. Right, we're going to copyright this idea. This happened on Ringing the Blues. It's going to be like the Predator. It was my idea, not Joe Jacobson. Okay, it was the Predator. This is going to be the Predator of throw-ins.
This is going to change the game. Yeah. Let's talk about life at Wycombe. You seem to have settled in incredibly quickly and fitted in. It feels like you've been here a long, long time, and I mean that in a very nicest possible way.
No, I agree. It does. It doesn't feel like it's only been three months. I just feel like it was perfect timing for how I wanted my career to go, how the age I am, and the way that I'd been performing at Shrewsbury, my former club. It was a no-brainer for me to come here, and the start's been very well for me personally, and I'd say as a team, and hopefully it continues.
And you're popping up all over the pitch as well, and really showing your versatility.
Yeah, I can do it. I didn't think I'd be doing it this early, but but no, I'm enjoying it. As long as I'm out on the football pitch, I don't really care where I play. So yeah, there's been a few positions, and I'd like to think I've done all right, and hopefully that continues.
You've been alongside Joe Lowe, someone who's sort of not the start of his career, but very near the start. Had an incredible start to this season.
Yeah, he has. I think I don't think it's harsh in me saying that he's took everyone by surprise as well, because he did come on trial, and there was probably, from the gaffer's point of view, we'll take it, we'll take the risk on him, and he's become already a mainstay in our team, and I credit to him, because it's all right doing it one game and then probably inconsistency kicks in, but he's been consistent since he's come in the team, and it's a credit to him, because he's in the gym, he's always training really well, and it's showing on a Saturday.
And now looking at the run of fixtures coming up, we've got a couple of tough away games coming up now. The away games, it seems to me, are always the one where the relationships are cemented away from the training ground, those long trips on the bus. Are you a guy that likes to travel?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I have a good laugh, so there's a few boys on there. We play a bit of cards, a bit of Uno and whatnot, so there'll be some cards flying about, I'm sure, on the long trip to Fleetwood.
Now, I know this is your first appearance on the podcast, but you did give me a sneak preview before. We won't get you to do it today. We're going to build up to this. Your Henning Vane / Max Striek impression was a joy to behold. Max Striek seems to be a big character as well. How'd you get on with Supermax?
Yeah, I think he's brilliant. I just love him to bits. Just no matter what, he's always there having a laugh, and he's just doing his own little thing. And like today in training, we're having a shooting drill, and he's heading them, not saving them, and I'm just like no wonder you're mad. So, but yeah, he's been excellent off the pitch for me, but even more better on the pitch.
Any other impressions of the squad you can do? Just building up a narrative for a few weeks.
Do quite a few, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah,
this
Dale
is
Taylor.
A hidden talent?
I like taking the mick out of people.
Now, when you first signed, I did my research and saw that you did the Shrewsbury Town podcast for BBC Shropshire, so I immediately asked you about doing this, and you seemed very keen. You seem very comfortable in the media environment, Luke.
Thank you. No, I think that Shrewsbury podcast was more about fans seeing the players in a different way. They see us on a Saturday at 3:00, and on a Tuesday, if we've got a Tuesday game, in a way that we're only focused on in the game. So it was a bit of a thing to do where they just see us just chatting, really, just being ourselves, chatting about day-to-day things, and it was a real success, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
In the modern era, do you think it's important that fans get a bit of an insight, especially for players who are outside of the Premier League, who are so away from reality, it seems to me, behind the black hat windows of a coach driving past at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You guys are at Adams Park, you see the fans, you can hear them, and obviously there's a social media side of it as well. How important is it for all of our fans to understand what it's like to be a footballer? Because it can be seen to be the dream occupation, and I guess in many ways it is.
Yeah, no, it is, but then there's tough times as well. You go through, boys are going through injuries, and you don't really know what someone's going through away from football. So I think it's vital that fans understand that we are professional footballers for their football club, but utmost we're just normal human beings that have just been gifted to play football. So yeah, that was one of the main reasons why we started that podcast at Shrewsbury, just to see a different light of all the players.
Well, let's see where this podcast goes, because hopefully you're going to be a regular after this. You've not been frightened off by us yet, have you?
No, of course not.
This is fantastic. Right, after this break, we're going to hear from Duncan Alexander in the first of a new feature called Till Death Us Do Part, where Duncan talks us through some of his favourite ever Wycombe memories, and our studio guest this evening even features in that. But we'll be back after these with Luke Leahy.
online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Bill Turnbull, a broadcasting legend whose tireless campaigning for prostate cancer awareness left a lasting legacy for men's health in the UK. Bill's message was clear.
I really want you and your loved ones to take this simple online risk check now.
Let's honour Bill's legacy together. Let's get men across the UK to check their risk. Let's broadcast it like Bill. Check your risk. Share the risk checker. Save lives.
Thursday evenings from 7.
The Wycombe Wanderers show is now in its 4th season, and as you'd expect, we'll continue to bring you match analysis and highlights from Phil.
Joe Lowe's coming to us, Phil. Oh my God. Oh wow, it's my first touch of the season. I punched it clear. I should have caught it, right?
I reckon you should have caught that. I reckon Max Striett catches that, Phil.
We'll regularly hear from manager Matt Bloomfield.
Of course, there's technical and tactical stuff that we've been working on that we would like to see, but in terms of what I want to see and have to see, it's all about the hard work, togetherness and team spirit, and everything else comes off the back of that.
As well as members of the current team.
You know, we had discussions about how we're going to do it better, and I think the only way you can do that is by keep practicing, keep learning, and hopefully then we'll get better and better with it.
And ex-players.
Everyone says as fast as I probably run, and they're probably right. Yeah, it was just a motion-fueled moment there, really. It was great because my dad is one of those people that gave me a lot of stick about not scoring as well, so I just wanted to see him and rub it in.
We'll bring you news from in and around the club, continue to follow Wycombe Wanderers women, and some things you wouldn't expect.
The brownies were top drawer.
And don't forget you can catch up with the show via the podcast.
The Wycombe Wanderers Show, only on Wycombe Sound. Online, on Radio Player, and on 106.6 FM. This is Wycombe Sound.
Hello and welcome back to Ringing the Blues with me, Phil Catchpole, and Luke Leahy, live from the studios of Wycombe Sound in the heart of the Chair Metropolis. Right, exciting times. We've got a new feature on Ringing the Blues tonight called Till Death Us Do Part. Now, football is like a marriage. You choose your team and they're yours for life. So we're talking to Wycombe fans about things to do with weddings and their love for football. First up, Oily Sailor. Okay, Till Death Us Do Part 1 with Wycombe Wanderers fan and Uber football journalist, statistician, writer, innovator. Any other words to add to this list?
There's probably too many there, to be honest. So, yeah.
We've missed his name out. Duncan Alexander.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the feature for the first time, our first victim. How do you feel about that?
Fine, except we're in a very busy road near London Bridge. So, you know, so if someone runs into me, then, yeah, so be it.
This adds to the jeopardy of this whole recording. Right, first off, it's something else. Football's like a marriage. You know, you choose your football club and it's for life. So we're going to go down the marriage route. Something old. Your best ever memory of Wycombe Wanderers?
Probably, I'm going to go classic and go Slough Town at home in 1993. Adams Park was off the hook that night, and it was just an incredible night from start to finish. And I was young enough that I was overawed almost by the kind of just the sense of the occasion, and you know, getting 7,000 fans to a non-league game. All right, Notts County might have done that, but it's different now, isn't it? So yeah, that was amazing.
Were you in the ground or in the woods?
I was in the woods. No, I was in the terrace behind the goal, and it was the only time ever at Wycombe where I don't think my feet touched the ground. I was like being carried around. You know, can't do that with modern safety regulations, but there we go.
And what do you remember about the game itself?
That Slough were better than I thought, and obviously Wycombe took the lead, and then who was it? Andy Kerr got sent off, and we sort of hung on really. And it's kind of weird because it felt like we were going to go up that year all season, yet it was actually quite a pivotal win because no one knows how, not even scientists, but Slough were quite close to going up that year until they fell away at the end. So yeah, it was a huge night, and obviously it had been delayed for weather from a few months earlier, and yeah, just very memorable.
Yeah, a classic night over 30 years ago now, showing our age a little bit here, I'm afraid. Something new, your favourite current player in the Wycombe Wanderers squad?
It's got to be Luke Leahy. I mean, I didn't think I thought I was too old to still get excited and over-enamoured by new signings, like a little kid. But, you know, he's just brilliant, isn't he? Like, he's a great player, he's a leader, he just looks like his fun being him, you know, like he runs around a football pitch like a mini sort of, I don't know, like a mini Napoleon, just sort of making stuff happen. And he's also got reasonable hair, which I respect.
It's a good thing to have. I wish I had reasonable hair. A long time since I had that. What's his best position?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you could play him literally anywhere, I think. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him playing just off the shoulder of a striker. He'd do that. But I mean, obviously, recently he's been playing in the left of a back three, which, you know, he's been brilliant. I'm sure he wants to play a bit further forward, and I'm sure he will. But he's got that spirit of, like, you can put him anywhere and he'll be brilliant.
He's also seemed to have sort of absorbed and maybe even progressed the level of shithousery associated with Wycombe Wanderers.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can tell, because when we bought him, Shrewsbury fans were like, oh no, we're really going to miss him. And you don't really get that normally, particularly in League One, where players come and go. And like, it was a real, I think it's quite a statement signing. And yeah, he knows every trick in the book. So hats off.
Right, on to something borrowed. Now, this could either be your favourite ever loanee that's played for Wycombe, or a player that you'd wish that Wycombe Wanderers had signed at some point.
Wow, that latter one's too, that's ridiculous. You could go higher. Wish we'd sign Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, well, that's not happening. But I'm going to go loans, and obviously this is the first one, so I can pick any loanee, which is pretty good. I mean, obviously the obvious choice might be Eze, who's, you know, going on to great things in the Premier League right now, and I'm sure we'll go to an even bigger club than Palace at some point. But I might go Stephen Taylor, just because his impact when he joined was excellent.
Oh, lovely, thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, sure.
We're in the pub, we've just been given a beer, this is even better. Stephen Taylor, continue.
Yeah, so for listeners that don't remember, we signed him on loan from Newcastle, and no one really knew much about him. And I don't think he played for Newcastle yet. And he came, and he was really good. But I've never seen a player more excited to be playing professional football. He would, at the end of games, he'd do a lap around Adams Park, like high-fiving every single fan. And you know, in the way that, like, fans become enamoured with players who've been there for 400 games and kissed the badge and blah, blah, he got to that level of, like, fan love within 2 or 3 games, and was a very good player. Obviously, famously did one of the worst handballs I've ever seen to give away a penalty in the Premier League. But I think of it fondly.
While we've got you here in the pub, who would have been the player that Wycombe should have signed back in the day or whenever?
I mean, the classic one would have been David Leahy, who we were linked with relentlessly in the non-league days. Like, Mine O'Neill was always like, I mean, he was the sort of player that did a year or two at each of the big non-league clubs. I think he went to Dover and scored like 35 goals. And I mean, I don't even remember what it was like, but all I remember is that everyone was like, yeah, you've got to sign Leahy. Get Leahy. Kim Casey was that player, essentially, another one that was good for years in non-league. And then we signed him, and he had a moustache. Quite good.
1 week, someone's going to say Dave Tarpey, aren't they?
Yeah, I feel like I was out the loop for the Tarpey hype, so I feel like David Leahy is my Tarpey in many ways.
Right, on to something blue. Now, this can be either your favourite piece of Wycombe Wanderers merchandise, or a piece of merchandise that Wycombe are missing a trick on. They should be stocking in the club shop.
Well, I've got a Hummel shirt where the badge is still on, so that's pretty cool. But I don't think I might have mentioned this on here before, but like, my mum once came home from a charity shop with 2 crystal glass Wycombe Wanderers man of the match sort of what they call, where you put whiskey in
tumblers.
No, the way you store the whole thing before you pour it out.
Decanter.
Yeah, 2 of them, and it had like, I think it was like 1993 or 1994 WWF with the badge on and like man of the match. So it was obviously a period when we were giving them out for man of the match. And okay, fine, I don't have much use for whiskey decanters really, but it also made me wonder whose they were. You know, was it Gary Patterson after a Freddie Potts style floppy-haired central midfield performance, or who could it be? And I guess without DNA testing them, we'll never know. But yeah, they exist and they will remain somewhere in my belonging for 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 some time.
If you're listening to this and you know the origin of these whiskey decanters, then please write to me at Adams Park. And in the nature of this feature, it has to be a letter. I'm not accepting emails on the subject. Duncan, it's been a pleasure to chat to you for this. Where can people find your work?
The Athletic, which you should subscribe to because it's very good, and then on many fading social media networks at Oily Sailor, which I always get asked by other people who don't know Wycombe, why is that your name? And I'm like, well, I chose it for a Wycombe message board in the early 2000s or late 90s, and didn't think I'd still be using it 24 years later, but here we are, so yeah.
It's a funny old game, isn't it?
It is a funny old game.
And before we let you go, FA Cup poem, that will be coming around very soon. Are you already working on it, or does the inspiration come that week?
It tends to come closer to the event. I need the clocks to go back first. That's when I really get my poem head on. But yeah, it'll be coming, don't worry.
Looking forward to it. Right, let's go and get a beer. A real pleasure to chat with Duncan Alexander, aka Oily Sailor. He joined us on commentary at the Valley, and he joined us in the pub afterwards as well, along with many other Wycombe Wanderers fans and faces around the club. Great to see Pete Couhig out as well. And Luke, let's replay this because he did mention, he said that you were his favourite new thing about Wycombe Wanderers. And let's recap exactly what he said.
He just looks like his fun being him. You know, like he runs around a football pitch like a mini sort of, I don't know, like a mini Napoleon, just sort of making stuff happen. And he's also got reasonable hair, which I respect.
Let's unpack that piece by piece. Let's start with the last comment. Reasonable hair? I mean, you know.
I'd say it's better than reasonable. I think there'd be a few boys in our squad that would die for this hair.
I would absolutely cut my arm off for it, to be honest with you. A mini Napoleon, that's not a bad description.
No, I'm happy with that as well. I think you have to give me his name. I'll have to meet him. He sounds like a great bloke.
He is a very interesting guy. The reference to the poetry at the end of that interview, for Wycombe fans who aren't aware, it's a huge tradition in the FA Cup that Oily Sailor writes a poem about the first round of the FA Cup. They're always topical, they're always brilliant, and they're always featured on Ringing the Blues. So make sure you're tuned in for that in a few months, as Oily Sailor says. When the clocks go back, that's when he starts getting his poetry head on. Who will we get in the FA Cup? Who knows? But an FA Cup run, we've not had one for a few years now, Luke. It'd be marvellous, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've had quite a few FA Cup runs previously. I think playing Liverpool a few seasons ago for Shrewsbury. And it's incredible for us players and for the fans, and even for our friends and families to come and watch us. So yeah, there's a few games before we get to sort of the big teams, but yeah, it'll be a great achievement to have a good cup run and just get away from the league for a little bit.
Which round was it of the FA Cup against Liverpool?
Third round it was.
Okay. Not everyone could get to the semi-final against Liverpool. Do you remember the Wycombe score that day?
No, I don't know.
2-1 to Liverpool. 0-0 after 78 minutes. They had to bring the big guns on, and they just about hung on.
What year was that?
2001. Yeah.
Oh, I was only 8.
Okay, fair enough. A famous year. Could it happen again this year? I've already said when the fixture list came out, where Jason McCarthy was sat there, if Wycombe were to get to the FA Cup final, then it would mean our away fixture at Carlisle would have to be moved for a clash with the FA Cup semi-final.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so
it'll be travelling up to Carlisle on a Tuesday night.
Just preparing you for that, just towards the end of the season as well, just for when we do get to the FA Cup semi-final. Right, for future episodes, next Tuesday we are at Portsmouth. We're doing Ringing the Blues. Will be before the show, before the live commentary of Wycombe Wanderers at Fratton Park. That's a great stadium. You must have played there before.
Yeah, a few times, even on a Saturday and a Tuesday night. So I've experienced it. It's a great atmosphere, and I think on a Tuesday night as well, it's a lot better. So no. Ready for that game, but we've got a big one Saturday first.
I was going to say, yeah, family day at Adams Park against Carlisle United, so hopefully there's going to be a lot of youngsters in there, perhaps getting their first experience of Adams Park. If anyone's listening to this thinking, I want to come down, what would they expect at Adams Park? What can happen at Adams Park?
You'll see a team that's going to go try and win and get 3 points. I think as well, it's massive for us to try and make it entertaining, because we want these young fans to come back and enjoy it. So maybe another Potsy volley, maybe hopefully one of G-Mac's 30-yarders go in and give them something to cheer about and make them come back.
I often, sometimes I feel sorry for footballers sometimes, because I remember when, through my teens and 20s and stuff, the pub culture of going to games and being on the terrace and the laughs and stuff, You guys don't ever get to appreciate that. Do you remember when you were a kid, did you go live, and who did you go and see?
Yeah, I went and watched Coventry when I was younger, at Highfield Road, and then over to the Rico. It was incredible, amazing. They were in the Premier League at the time as well for the early part of the years, and it was amazing. So, but to experience it, to play it now in front of fans is it's sort of why we do it. See, smiles on the fans' faces when we win. And I was just speaking to you then about the little ball boy that come up to me before the Orient corner saying, "Come on, Luke, get us a goal." And luckily we put a cross in for Jolo's header, and I just remember turning around to him and seeing the smile on his face. It was like, oh, amazing.
That's what it's all about, I guess. And you must remember that then being at Coventry. Yeah,
I remember waiting at the tunnel at Highfield Road for Gary McSheffrey and Stephen Hughes and all of them. So yeah, and I think a little boy ran on the pitch on Saturday.
It was a Charlton fan, had a selfie with you, made his day.
Oh, I didn't know he was a Charlton fan.
Yeah, he came from the home end, yeah.
I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I thought he was a Wycombe fan. Oh, okay.
Well, he made his day either way.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So is Charlton, not Charlton, Coventry the result you look for on a Saturday?
Yeah, Coventry, yeah, that's the one. Maybe Liverpool as well. I am a Liverpool supporter now, so I have changed over when Steven Gerrard become my idol.
You've already revealed your age. You won't remember when Wycombe Wanderers won 4-0 against Coventry. Or 4-0 up. I forget what happened at the end of extra time when we were 3-0 down after the first leg in the Coca-Cola Cup. Wycombe Wanderers dismantled Premier League Coventry at Adams Park under the lights. But I don't know what happened after we went 4-0 up. But anyway, I digress. It must have been excellent. Luke, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you in with us. You will come back, right?
Yes, definitely. Hope you have me back.
Yeah, well, when we don't have a game on a Tuesday night, we'll get you in. And also, fans, let's remember this is a live show as well when Wycombe aren't playing. So do get involved on the phones and on Twitter as well to have your say with players like Luke Leahy. But we'll be back next week. But don't forget, Adams Park Saturday for Carlisle United. See you next week, guys. Cheers, Luke.
Thank you.
More convenient than a Tesco Express. Close to Windsor, but the property's less. It keeps the businesses of Britain great. It's got Europe's biggest trading estate. It doesn't matter where you're from. You wanna work.
If I were a linesman, I would execute defenders who applauded my offsides.